YouTube. Today on the Naughty Librarian, I'm bringing you another book, Unhaul. Alright, I cleaned up my shelves again because sometimes I just need to go do something, so I just pick at my shelves and just get rid of things that aren't necessary. So I did like a deep dive into some of my shelves and we're just like, why do I have these? Like, I'm never gonna read that. I forgot I owned it. That's how long it's been on my shelf. So yeah, these are leaving. First things first, I have Feed by M.T. Anderson. So it has a sticker on it saying it's a National Book Award finalist. Didn't win it, I don't think. But I don't even know. It's like some virtual reality type of thing. And it's been on my shelf for like years, I think, at this point. And I still haven't read it. I don't see myself ever reading it, and if I really change my mind in the future, I can get it from the library, but yeah, I'm just like, I don't remember what it's about. I know it's something computery, but I don't know. I'm not gonna read it. Also leaving my shelf is Artemis Fowl by Owen Colfer, and I just got it because I know they were making a movie about it, and sometimes, like, I don't dislike middle grade. There's some middle grades that are dope, like Percy Jackson, incredible. However, it's been on my shelf for a really long time. I don't see myself reading it. It feels like a young middle grade. So, I don't know. It's been this long and I haven't read it. It's not going to happen at this point. Also leaving my shelf is The House by Christina Lauren, and I was mainly holding on to this for as long as I have because it's by Christina Lauren and they were an auto-buy author for me. Their old stuff, at least, was some of my favorites. I am kind of losing a bit of interest in their books, if I'm being honest. And nothing against them. They're still great books. They're just very different than their older works, and I'm more of a fan of that type of style. So, I don't know. But anyway, I have this one and I just don't see myself reading it. It is YA. It's like a ghost story. And I was keeping it just because it was Christina Lauren, but I'm not going to read it. So it's like, why am I keeping it? Also leaving my shelf is Damaged by H.M. Ward. I got this at a library book sale and I just got it because it looks like generic smutty book. But I'm just like, I'm probably not going to read this, and I'm looking at the blurb again. It looks really bad. It looks real bad. I'm fairly certain it's going to be smutty, but I'm just like not feeling it. I think it's just going to be overly dramatic, and I'm just like over it. Also leaving my shelf is Chasing Vivi by A.M. Hargrove, and this is another randomly smutty book. I think I got this in a subscription box at one point, so it's not one I picked out for myself, but the blurb on the back seems fucking awful. I'm just, ew. It feels like it's gonna be a bully romance, and I'm like, fuck that. No thank you. Also leaving my shelf is Touch of Gold by Annie Sullivan. I think this got sent to me by the publisher, and for a while I was genuinely interested in reading this. It's kind of like a Midas retelling, and I was interested, but it's been on my shelf for like 2 years and I still haven't read it, so I don't know. I just don't foresee myself actually reading it, and I'd rather like find its way into someone else's hands that wants to read it, so it's gonna go. Also leaving is Always Never Yours by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. And I mainly got this, I think it was a book festival because they're local authors, so I see them around like a lot. And I got the book, but realistically, I'm not going to read it. I just got it because like I see them around and I talk to them sometimes. But like I'm not a big fan of YA contemporary. It's not my jam. It just really isn't. I've made my peace with that because I'm a grown-ass lady. It doesn't need to be my jam. So, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this one. Also leaving my shelf is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I have this really nice edition of it that has like fan art and stuff, which is really cool. But I got it at a library book sale randomly. And I know a lot of people really, really like this book. But the fact of the matter is, I read Carry On already, which is kind of like a sequel to this. But not really. I read Carry On by Rainbow Rowell and was thoroughly unimpressed with it. So I keep thinking maybe I should read this one because everyone really likes it, but I'm just like, I don't give a shit. If I'm being honest. I don't care. I don't care to read it. I mainly have it just because of hype, and it's just like, I don't care about hype. It's leaving my shelf now. Also leaving my shelf is Debutantes and Daggers, and this is basically a mashup of two books, which is Rebel Belle and Miss Mayhem by Rachel Hawkins. And I got it mainly because I like Rachel Hawkins as a human, and I went to one of her signings for a different series of hers that I have read and do enjoy, and I was just like, oh, I'll get this one too. It's a mashup of both books. It'll save space on my shelves. And now it's just taking up space on my shelf because I'm like, am I gonna read these? Probably not. I feel like it's a young YA, which isn't a problem. It's just like, I am not young YA. I am a grown-ass lady, so I don't see myself reading it, but I have heard good things about the books, so it can make its way off into the world. I'm gonna get rid of Furthermore by Tahira Mafi. I got this at a library book sale for like 50 cents, and I just got it because Tahira Mafi wrote it, and I like Tahira Mafi. But I don't foresee myself reading this one. It has a cool premise. It's middle grade, and I believe like the main character is this girl who washes corpses, so it was like, all right, that's metal. Okay, let's see what that's about. But as cool as it looks, like it has wonderful art, it has had a cool premise, I don't foresee myself reading it, realistically. And I'm not losing a lot of money here, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Also leaving my shelf is Defy by Sarah B. Larson. It's a random YA fantasy story. I got it at a library book sale. I have no interest in it, honestly. Like, I'm just looking at it. It looks so generic YA story that I'm like, meh. Love triangle, magic of some kind, blah. I don't care. Officially leaving my shelf is Sea of Shadows by Kelly Armstrong. This was in a previous unhaul, and I talked myself out of getting rid of it. And I was like, oh, but this blurb sounds actually really cool, and it could be good. And then it sat on my shelf for like months more, and I still didn't read it at all. I haven't even looked at it. So I was like, okay, you know what? Stop saving books. Just get rid of it. You got it at a library book sale. It can go. So I saved it once, but not twice. Also leaving my shelf is Witches of East End by Melissa De La Cruz, because I have no desire to read it. I think I just got it because I think there was a TV show made about this, and I was like, oh, cool, it has like a TV show. And the thing is, I have no interest in the TV shows. Why do I have the book? Like, why do I think the book's gonna make me interested in it? But it's like witches and their dramas and stuff. I don't know. It's going. Someone will find it and like it. Also leaving is Ash Lords by Scott Rankin. Okay, here's the deal. I didn't think this was bad for its intended audience. I did try to read this and DNF'd, but I think if I was like 16, 15, 14 to 16, I really would have liked this book. However, I am a grown-ass adult, so I was not getting into this book. So for its intended audience, I feel like it's really good, so maybe getting rid of it and having it get into the hands of the right reader makes me happy, more so than keeping it. I'm also getting rid of The Girl the Sea Gave Back by Adrienne Young. I just was thoroughly bored by this, honestly. I liked her other book. It wasn't great, but it was pretty good. And then this one was so dull. Like, I really did not enjoy it. So I was like, why am I keeping it? I'm also getting rid of Ignited by Jay Kenner. I got it because it looks generically smutty, and I got it for really cheap. I think I got it at a discount store for like a couple bucks, and I don't know. It just looks dumb, honestly. I did skim all these books before I decided to get rid of them, and I'm just like, I'm just like not into it. So yeah, it's gonna go. I had intentions of reading this, but I'm just like, there's a lot of smutty books out there that hold my attention more than this one does, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Also leaving my shelf is The Final Move by Victoria Denault, and I had intentions to read this at one point. I read a different book by Victoria Denault, and it wasn't great. I gave it like 3 stars. It was fine. It wasn't great though. And then I did have some interest in the characters from that book, because this is their book now. You know, we were introduced to them and they seemed cool. And I did meet her and this is signed, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll read that. And it's been years and I haven't read it, and I've lost interest. So I'm not gonna like go into this one on the off chance I'll like it better than the other one I've already gotten rid of because I didn't like that much. So yeah, it's going. I'm gonna get rid of My Lady Jane, and this is by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. There are a whole lot of authors in this, and I think it's about a Lady Jane Grey, but it's like a retelling of like the story, but like with teen, like, stuff. I don't know. It just looks stupid. It's like, making a story, like, stereotypically teen age. It looks like a 17 magazine wrote a story about Lady Jane Grey, honestly, and I've lost interest. It seems like a cool concept, but not for me. I am also going to get rid of A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahara Mafi. This is another Tahara Mafi book I'm getting rid of. I'm just not going to read it. It is contemporary. I don't think she's written any other contemporaries, and part of me wants to read it because I feel like I also was a teenager at this time that this book is taking place, so it kind of like feels like I would get into it a bit, but also I'm just like, it's YA contemporary, honestly, so I'm just like, I'm really not into YA contemporary, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. I'm also gonna get rid of Murder Trending by Gretchen McNeil. Although this premise does sound cool, I don't foresee myself actually reading it. It is the arc of it. I was excited at one point. I was like, oh, that sounds really cool, actually. I'll read that. And now I've lost interest, so it's gonna go. I'm also going to get rid of What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera, mainly because I don't think I will like it. I love Becky Albertalli. I've read all of her books and really enjoyed them. But Adam Silvera's books, they're like sad for the sake of being sad, and I'm not into that. So I feel like this would have been like kind of charming and cute if not for Adam Silvera. Nothing against Adam Silvera. I'm sure he's a very good writer. It's just like they're too sad for me. So I feel like this is going to be too sad. And I've just lost interest. Also leaving my shelf is Not If I Save You First by Allie Carter. I think I got this for free at a Y'all West randomly, and I'm just, I just got it for free, and I don't really care about it. I think it's like some type of like teenage Secret Service story for some reason, which is completely implausible, but I don't know. It's just been on my shelf sitting there, so it's gonna go. Also leaving my shelf is Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. And I got this mainly because the cover is dope. I love the cover, it's gorgeous. And I don't know, I was interested in it for quite a while. I thought it was actually going to be kind of cool. It is a young adult story, but it does happen in college, which I feel like there should be more stories for young adults that are happening in college, because you know, you're like 18 when you go to college. So I was interested in that aspect of it. It was something that made it unique. But yeah, it's just been sitting on my shelf, and I don't really have a lot of interest in it, honestly. So it's gonna go, even though it is really pretty. I'm also going to get rid of In Search of Us by Ava DeLera. And I read a different book by Ava DeLera and surprisingly really, really enjoyed it. It was kind of one of those books with like a big cathartic cry. So I was like, oh, I'm going to read this one too. I'm really excited about it. And then it's been like 2 years and I still haven't read it. So yeah, I'm just going to make my peace with the fact that I'm not going to read this. And I'm just going to give it away, and you know what, someone else will find it and love it. I'm just going to remember my fond memories of reading that other book and like having a cathartic cry. Also leaving my shelf is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. And you know what, I had intention of reading this. My friend was getting rid of it, so I was like, I'll take it if you don't want it. So I got it for free, and I've lost interest. I think it was cool because it's kind of about like art and like online privacy and that kind of stuff, and I was like interested, but I'm honestly not that interested anymore, so yeah, I'm gonna get rid of it. I've decided to finally get rid of The Dark Days Club by Allison Goodman, and I got this, like, it's like a discount book I think I got from Barnes & Noble, so it's like $3-4. And I had intentions of reading this. Like I said, I did buy this with the intention of reading it because I had heard really good things about it. It's like Victorian and spooky, and now that I'm reading it again, oh no, it's not Victorian, it's Regency, okay. But now I'm like getting back into it. Nope, stop it. I do this to myself. I start looking at the books more and I'm like, well, maybe I'll read it. And I'm like, I haven't read it in 2 years. I'm probably not going to read it. But it seems good though. It's kind of, 1812, so that's like Regency era, and it's England, and it's spooky stuff, and I don't know. It seems like something I would like, but I don't foresee myself actually reading it. The last book I'm getting rid of in this unhaul is The Duchess War by Courtney Milan. I was very highly recommended this book and I tried it. I did read most of it. Then I kind of skimmed the rest of it because I was just really not feeling it. It's not my particular taste in historicals, but it's a lot of other people's taste in historicals. So it's just this is more of a, it's not you, it's me kind of a book, but it's quite well written. It's just not a book I liked in particular. So I'm like, if I didn't really like it, I'm not just gonna keep it on my shelf because I think it's cute. It's not serving a purpose, so it's gonna go, and then, you know what, someone will find it and be like super happy they found this. All right, those are all the books I'm getting rid of this time, and I feel good. I'm just cleaning out my shelves, and you know, sometimes you just have to make peace with the fact that you're not going to read everything. And a lot of these books I got at library book sales. I think the majority of them I got at library book sales, or I got free somehow from a friend or a publisher. So realistically, I got these books for fairly cheap, but I don't know. I had good intentions when I got them, and then things happened and I lost the intention. So they're just gonna go and other readers can find them and love them. So I guess let me know in the comments down below, is there a book that you have read recently that you thought you were gonna like, but then you're just like, oh, this is not for me. One of those books you were disappointed in, I guess. Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like, and if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon.